Most people spend their entire lives stuck in the same cycle. Every spring, they're back in the garden doing the same back-breaking work, digging, planting, spending money on seeds they'll never reuse, spending time on plants that'll just die when winter comes. But there's a different way. There are vegetables that break all the rules. Plant them once, and they'll produce food for you year after year, sometimes for the rest of your life. No replanting, no wasted money, no endless cycles. I'm Adam Grove, and this is Backyard Crops, where we grow smarter, not harder. If you're ready to transform your garden into a perpetual food source, hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, this changes everything. The revolution starts here. Most gardeners think vegetables are meant to die. Plant in spring, grow in summer, harvest in fall. Then what? Start all over again next year. It's exhausting. It's expensive. And honestly, it doesn't have to be this way. Perennial vegetables exist. They're real, they're powerful, and they can completely transform how you garden. These aren't mythical plants. They're vegetables that live for multiple seasons. Some produce for 5 years, some for 10. A few will outlast you entirely. The best part? Once they're established, they require almost no effort. No tilling, no replanting, no constant spending on seed packets. Like this video and drop a comment below telling me which vegetable you're most excited to try. Your engagement helps Backyard Crops reach more gardeners like you.
Vegetable number 1, asparagus, the lifetime producer. If you want one vegetable that defines plant once, eat forever, it's asparagus. Asparagus is the heavyweight champion of perennial vegetables. Plant a crown and it can feed your family for 20 to 25 years straight. Some gardeners report harvests lasting even longer. Here's how it works. Year 1, you wait. That's right, you don't harvest anything. The plant is underground, building an incredibly strong root system. This is patience, building wealth for your future garden. Year 2, you harvest sparingly, just a few spears. It seems disappointing, but the plant is still strengthening. By year 3, everything changes. Suddenly, you've got an asparagus explosion every single spring. Thick, tender spears coming up through the soil week after week. And this production continues for decades. Asparagus needs full sun. It needs soil that drains well. Give it compost when you plant it, and then mostly leave it alone. Think of asparagus as a long-term investment. You put in initial effort, and then the returns keep coming for your entire life. Share this video with someone you know who loves fresh vegetables. They'll thank you later. Vegetable number 2, rhubarb, the hardy giant. Rhubarb is tough. Seriously tough. Most people think rhubarb is a fruit, but it's actually classified as a vegetable. And it's one of the most resilient perennials you can grow anywhere. Plant a rhubarb crown, and you're committed to 15 to 20 years of production. It thrives in cold climates. It actually needs winter to work properly. When spring arrives, boom, those ruby red stalks burst out of the ground like they never left. Here's what makes rhubarb special. It's practically indestructible. Pests don't bother it much. Diseases rarely touch it. It just keeps growing. One critical rule. The stalks are edible. The leaves are poisonous. But this isn't complicated. Just snap off the stalks at the base and you're done. Leave the leaves behind. Give rhubarb a good location with space to spread. Water it during dry spells. Add compost once a year. That's literally it. Your rhubarb will outlive your house payment. It'll be producing when you've forgotten you ever planted it. Subscribe to Backyard Crops for more vegetables that work this hard so you don't have to.
Vegetable number 4, Egyptian walking onions, the self-planting miracle. This one blows people's minds. Egyptian walking onions are literally magical. Here's what makes them incredible. At the top of each stalk, these onions grow small bulbs. As those bulbs get heavier and heavier, the stalk actually bends down. The bulb touches soil, the bulb plants itself, and suddenly
you have a new onion plant growing right there. They walk across your garden. That's not metaphorical. That's actually happening. You can harvest the bulbs underground. You can harvest the small bulbs growing on top. They multiply endlessly. After planting Egyptian walking onions, you'll never need to buy onions from a store again. They're quirky, they're productive, they're pure garden entertainment. Kids love them. Gardeners love them. Your cooking routine will love them. Vegetable number 5, chives, flavoring that never stops. Chives are humble. Don't underestimate them. Both regular chives and garlic chives are true perennials. Plant them once, and they multiply on their own year after year. You'll get fresh green shoots for soups, salads, and garnishes almost constantly throughout the year. The flowers are edible too. Purple or white blooms that pollinators absolutely love. Your garden gets food production, plus beauty, plus pollinator support. That's efficiency. Chives work in containers, chives work in borders, chives work basically anywhere. They're flexible, productive, and reliable. Drop a comment if you're already growing chives. Tell the backyard crops community how you use them. Vegetable number 6, garlic chives, the aromatic perennial. If you want that garlic flavor without growing full garlic plants every year, garlic chives are your answer. These are almost identical to regular chives in terms of how easy they are to grow. Plant them and they establish themselves quickly. They divide naturally, they multiply. You get fresh garlic-flavored greens for most of the year. The flavor is distinctive, the production is reliable, the maintenance is minimal. Vegetable number 7, lovage, celery's immortal cousin. Lovage tastes remarkably similar to celery, but it's far more resilient and long-lived. This perennial can live for decades. In some old monastery gardens in Europe, there are lovage plants that have been alive for over 100 years, over a century of continuous harvesting. The leaves are edible, the stems are edible, the seeds are edible. One single lovage plant produces enough for an entire family. It grows tall, it's aromatic. Once it's established, it practically runs itself. You're not just growing vegetables, you're potentially growing something that'll outlast you. Vegetable number 8, tree collards, the living vegetable tree. Tree collards are like kale that never actually stops growing. These remarkable plants can live for 10 to 20 years. In mild climates, they grow up to 10 to 12 feet tall, producing tender, nutrient-rich leaves almost year-round. Here's something fascinating. Tree collards don't produce seeds. That means gardeners propagate them from cuttings. Every single tree collard that exists today is genetically a clone of an ancient mother plant. It's living history that feeds you. When you plant a tree collard, you're planting something that's been passed down through generations of gardeners. That's remarkable. That's powerful. That's legacy gardening. Vegetable number 9, Jerusalem artichokes, also called sunchokes, are cheerful plants that look like sunflowers. Underground, they produce edible tubers that taste nutty and naturally sweet. Plant just a few, and by next year, you'll have an entire patch. They multiply so quickly and so aggressively that they can become invasive if you're not careful. Give them plenty of space or plant them in a dedicated bed when they can do their thing without taking over. They die back in winter. They return every spring. Year after year, they're there, multiplying, feeding you. Vegetable number 10, sea kale, beauty and production. Sea kale is stunning. It's also incredibly productive. This gorgeous perennial produces tender shoots that taste similar to asparagus. It's drought tolerant, which means it survives in conditions where other vegetables struggle. Pests don't bother it much. Diseases rarely touch it. As a bonus, it works as an ornamental plant. Blue-green leaves, white flowers, it's edible landscape design. Plant it in full sun with well-drained soil and it'll produce for 8 to 10 years. That's nearly a decade of fresh harvest with minimal effort.
Vegetable number 11. Good King Henry, the forgotten supergreen. Good King Henry is an ancient European vegetable that's almost been forgotten in modern gardening. It shouldn't be. This plant is incredible. From a single Good King Henry plant, you get spinach-like leaves. You get asparagus-like shoots. You get edible flower buds. It's like having 3 vegetables in one plant. It tolerates shade where other vegetables demand sun. It tolerates poor soil where others require fertility. Yet it still produces reliably. Once it's established, it returns faithfully for decades. It's nearly impossible to kill. It's nearly impossible to fail with. The semi-perennial superstars, 5 to 10 years. Not every perennial vegetable lasts forever.
but many last long enough to transform how you garden. Vegetable number 12, artichokes, the beautiful producers. In warm climates, artichokes are legitimate perennials that produce for 5 to 7 years, sometimes longer. Each plant yields dozens of flower buds, the artichokes you'd eat, every single season. Even in colder areas, you can protect them through winter with heavy mulch, and they'll keep producing. They're beautiful. They're productive. They deserve space in any garden. Vegetable number 13, globe artichokes, the deep-rooted relatives. Globe artichokes are closely related to standard artichokes, but with deeper root systems. This matters because deeper roots mean better drought tolerance. Better drought tolerance means longer production. With proper care, globe artichokes produce for up to a decade. They become stunning focal points in your garden, functional and beautiful at the same time. Vegetable number 14, sorrel, the tangy perennial. Sorrel is the tangy, lemon-flavored green that salad lovers should never be without. It's practically indestructible. Poor soil doesn't bother it, partial shade doesn't stop it, neglect doesn't kill it. It returns every year for about 6 years. Once you have a sorrel patch, you get fresh, lemony greens from early spring all the way through late fall, every single year. The production is reliable. The flavor is distinctive. Share backyard crops with a friend who loves fresh greens. They'll appreciate the long-term solution. Vegetable number 16, Caucasian spinach, the climbing green. Caucasian spinach is a climbing vine that produces spinach-like leaves throughout the growing season. Here's why this matters. Regular spinach bolts in heat. Caucasian spinach doesn't. It loves warmth and keeps producing when regular spinach gives up. It dies back in winter but explodes back in spring, year after year. Plant it near a trellis or fence and you'll have vertical greens for many seasons. It's efficient. It's productive. It's vertical gardening at its best. Vegetable number 17, 9-star perennial broccoli. Yes, it exists. Perennial broccoli sounds impossible. It exists anyway. 9-star perennial broccoli produces multiple small white heads each season, instead of one giant head. It keeps producing for about 5 years. It's slower to establish than regular broccoli, but once it does, you harvest broccoli every single year without replanting. That's a genuine game changer for broccoli lovers. Vegetable number 18, watercress, the damp corner solution. If you have a damp or boggy area that other vegetables refuse to grow in, watercress is your best friend. It's a nutrient powerhouse with a distinctive peppery flavor. It thrives in exactly the conditions where other vegetables fail. In mild climates, it's a true perennial. In colder areas, it self-seeds so reliably that it behaves like one. Plant it once, and you'll never need to buy watercress again. Fresh peppery greens from the area of your garden that previously seemed useless. Making perennials last for decades. Now that you understand which vegetables keep producing year after year, let's talk about actually keeping them alive and productive for the long term. Rule 1. Choose your location carefully. Perennials don't appreciate moving. Once you plant them, they're staying put for years, maybe decades. Pick a permanent location with soil that's actually good. Make sure it gets adequate sunlight. Think about this decision seriously because you won't be relocating these plants. Rule 2. Build your soil before planting. Before you plant any perennial, add compost, add well-rotted manure, add organic matter. Mix it into the soil deeply. Since you won't be digging and tilling every year, this single soil improvement pays dividends for decades. Rule 3. Mulch every single year. A thick layer of mulch does multiple jobs. It suppresses weeds, it holds moisture in the soil, it protects roots from temperature extremes. This simple practice extends the life of your perennials significantly. Rule 4. Divide when necessary. Some perennials, like chives and asparagus, grow crowded over time. Every few years, divide them. Separate the clumps. Replant sections in new locations. This keeps plants healthy. This maintains productivity. This actually increases your growing area without additional investment. Rule 5. Practice patience with harvesting. Don't over-harvest in the first year. Don't strip plants bare. Give them time to build strong root systems. Your patience now creates decades of harvest later. That's the deal you're making. Why perennial vegetables are the future. Let's be honest about why this matters. Financial benefit. You buy once, you harvest for years. That's financial reality. Seeds cost money. Seedlings cost money. Mulch cost money. Fertilizer costs money. Growing annuals year after year costs genuine money. Perennials reduce this cost dramatically. You spend money up front, then you harvest without that constant yearly expense. Time benefit. You don't spend time tilling soil. You don't spend time planting. You don't spend time starting seeds indoors. You spend time harvesting. That's a fundamentally different relationship with gardening. Sustainability benefit. Less soil disturbance means the soil ecosystem stays intact. Worms keep working, beneficial fungi keep existing, microorganisms keep thriving. You're building a system instead of destroying and rebuilding it every year. Resilience benefit. Perennials developed deep root systems. Deep roots find water during droughts. Deep roots anchor plants against wind. Deep roots tap into mineral reserves. Your perennial garden is tougher. It handles stress better. It produces even when conditions are difficult. The real benefit. You feed your family. You reduce your workload. You save money. You build something sustainable. You create a legacy. When to plant November guide. Timing matters depending on where you live. For warm regions, if you're in the southern United States, coastal Europe, or Australia, November is ideal for planting most of these perennials. Asparagus, rhubarb, chives, sorrel. Plant them now. For cold regions, if you're in northern areas where the ground freezes, use November differently. Prepare your beds, add compost, plan your planting schedule. Aim for early spring planting when the ground thaws. For Australia and southern Europe, November is late spring or early summer. Plant now and let these perennials establish before next winter arrives. Building your perennial garden system. When you plant perennials, you're not just growing food, you're building a system that maintains itself. Each plant becomes part of a self-sustaining cycle. This cycle supports soil life, it attracts pollinators, it reduces your workload every single year. You stop chasing gardening trends. You stop buying endless seed packets. You let nature do what nature does best, renew itself. Imagine your garden 5 years from now. The asparagus patch is thriving, chives are blooming, rhubarb is emerging, horseradish is spreading in its designated corner, and you did the hard work once, years ago. That's not fantasy. That's completely realistic. That's what happens when you plant perennials. Your mission: pick 3 perennial vegetables from this list. Just 3. Commit to planting them this season. Research them, prepare your soil, plant them properly. Then watch what happens over the next few years. Watch your workload shrink. Watch your harvests grow. Watch your grocery bills drop. That's how you transform a garden from a yearly expense into a lifetime investment. That's how you join the perennial revolution. Closing message. If this video opened your eyes to a new way of gardening, share it with someone who's always exhausted from replanting every year. Share it with someone ready for change. Hit that subscribe button. Backyard Crops releases new growing strategies every week. You don't want to miss them. Drop a comment telling me which 3 perennials you're planting first. The community loves hearing what each gardener is growing. Give this video a thumbs up if you're ready to stop replanting forever. The best gardens are the ones that take care of themselves, and now you know exactly how to build one. I'm Adam Grove. Keep growing smart, keep growing better. I'll see you next time on Backyard Crops.